HyperMine.
G'day fellow miners and welcome to episode 2 in my road to nuclear power. Brought to you from the HyperMine server, a Feed the Beast server started by Zueljin. Today's episode, we're going to look at a couple of different things. First is this little setup here. This is an industrial centrifuge, and on the top and bottom of it I have installed these electric buffers, which are a very useful tool. I'll show you what is needed to create an electric buffer. It's a translocator, yeah, electric buffer. This is a large electric buffer. So it uses an advanced machine block, 4 electrum ingots, an RE battery, and 2 advanced circuits, and a chest. And what an electric buffer does is it's essentially like a hopper, except it has a larger inventory. So it'll hold up to 27 stacks of items, and it has some additional functionality in that it will emit power, or EU, from its output side. So I can actually use one of these hoppers to power the industrial centrifuge. It'll also emit a redstone signal if it is, if we have a look here, emit redstone if no slot is free. So when it fills up, you can actually set it up to emit a redstone signal, and pardon me, that can be used for various things. You can also invert the redstone signal so that when it's not full it can be emitting a redstone signal, but I'm just going to leave it as not emitting redstone. I'm also going to turn off emitting energy from one side. You only need to emit energy from one of these two buffers. Now over here I have a couple of barrels, and I'm going to label the barrels. Actually put them up here for now, and one will be glowstone, which will come in the top, and this is the centrifuge glowstone to get helium. So this one will have glowstone in it, and the other one will have empty cells, and the empty cells will feed into the bottom of the centrifuge. I want to set up a bank of these. I have the parts over here. I only want 5. Oh, 5. Total 5. Large electric buffer. Yes, I need 8. I think I need some pipe. So we're going to install these, and I'll just do one, and you can see how they're set up. So you can see on this it just configured. See how there's a white arrow in there and it's pointing to the back? That's placed the output facing backwards. You can see it here with the red arrows. So what we need to do is get our electric wrench and shift click the top, and that will point it upwards. So that means that it's going to eject its contents up into the centrifuge. And then we need to do the same thing for the top. At the moment this is going to the back, and we don't shift click, we just ordinary click with an electric wrench, and as you can see the arrow is now pointing down. You can just make out that white arrow right there. So I'm going to configure the rest of these, and then I will come back. Alright, and we are back. I've put down the rest of the centrifuges and buffers, and I noticed that there was a bit of an issue with this setup, so we're going to fix it. See how they have circles on them? And then it turns into a chest. That means that it's now configured itself. And for some reason, these buffers were showing up as having circles on them, and not a chest image like this. Actually, something I want to talk about quickly before I put this centrifuge back is this thing here. It's a gate. Gates are like a control chipset that you can apply to pipes. This one is an autarkic gate. It's just a base gate. It's not. There's different levels of gates, and we'll discuss those at a later date. Probably actually might talk about them in this video. And what a gate does is it sets up a condition, and when that condition is met, it produces a result. In the case of this being an autarkic gate, when it detects that there's items in the inventory of the centrifuge, it emits this energy pulsar. And what energy pulsar does is, when attached to a wooden pipe like these, it actually acts as like a redstone engine or a pump. So it'll pump out items. I've been using autarkic gates for quite some time because they are incredibly useful, and they cut down on the need for bulky redstone engines. As you can see, I can make the wiring a little more compact. I wouldn't be able to. I'd have to wire this in the front, which would look kind of ugly if I had to put redstone engines on each of these wooden pipes. But having the autarkic gates makes it a lot easier. And excuse me again if you can hear my spacebar clicking. It's because one of the little stands is broken on the inside of the spacebar. Probably from bashing it a lot from trying to fly, because the fly mechanic in Minecraft is so retarded. Anyway, so here they are again, the autarkic gates. These are gold gates. I'm not sure why I used gold gates on here. I think maybe because I might have planned to put gates underneath here or something to use some pipe wire, but I could probably just use normal gates on these too. So what we do is these will start this energy pulsar once they detect items in the barrels. And as you can see, this barrel is for glowstone, this barrel is for empty cells. So this will feed the bottom of each of these and place the empty cells into this top left corner here, and the glowstone will get fed into the top of each of these buffers, and then that will get fed into the middle, and what's created from that is gold dust, redstone dust, and importantly helium cells, which okay, I need a different type of pipe. Helium cells, which are the primary ingredient of the coolant cells that I'm going to be using for the K-Suck reactor. So this is the idea, is that I will produce the helium cells, and then they'll come down here and probably go to a, yeah, I think the chest will be here. No, maybe the chest will be here. Again, wrong type of pipe. I'm using stone transport pipes, not sure why. And of course, this is the other thing I wanted to configure for now. Just temporarily, I want to put a couple of barrels here. This is to catch the redstone and the gold dust. So we want to filter this. We need to go and get some redstone and gold dust, and that is down here in the workshop. So we'll grab one redstone, one gold dust, and using diamond pipes to filter items. they're pretty much, they're a great idea, diamond pipes. I really like, I love these piping, I love this piping system. People keep telling me the redstone pneumatic pipes or the red power pneumatic pipes are better, but I just don't see it. So we want redstone, let's say, to go to green. I got glowstone, I needed gold dust. Hang on, we'll go back and we'll get a gold bar and we'll macerate it. Actually, wait, I have put I've put some glowstone in here. So this is the result of centrifuging glowstone. So you get helium cells, 4 helium cells, you get gold dust, and you get redstone. So that can go over here for now. Back there. Yep, there we go, a little bit of lag. And our gold dust, we need to, the gold dust can be smelted into gold ingots. So you get out of a stack of glowstone, you get 4 helium cells, you get 32 gold dust and 32 redstone dust. So we want the gold dust to go to black. As you can see, I don't actually put an item into this. It just stores a representation of the item. We want a filter of some sort to stop things going backwards into blue, and then everything else will go to red. Or I can actually, I've got helium cells here, so I can actually say red is where we want helium cells to go. So the helium cells will come here to this chest. So this is the helium manufacturing part fixed up, and I've just wired this up to an MFSU, which I'm charging with a few spare solar panels that I've got there, 3 hybrids and a couple of advanced. And I've got, because the MFSU's output is 512 EU per tick, I've got an MV transformer, medium voltage transformer, that reduces to 128 EU. Then I've got an LV transformer which reduces it to 32 EU per tick, which is what these buffers can handle. They can only handle up to 32 EU per tick, and so can the centrifuges. So the centrifuges should be getting powered through these top buffers. So what we'll do is we will go back to the storing room again and grab a few stacks of we'll grab a couple of stacks of tin, and we'll make a whole bunch of, we'll have to go to APU. This is APU, Advanced Processing Unit. Basically, it is a bank of macerators up here, and then a bank of e-furnaces or electric furnaces, and you feed your ore in here. So if I get this copper ore and pop it in this barrel here, you can see it gets extracted, it gets fed down this tube here. The sandstone tube is designed to not interact with any machines or chests, so you can run it next to chests, barrels, machines, and it will not connect to them. It goes up through this iron pipe, can only go this way across the top, and then it'll feed into the macerators, which will turn it into dust. And if the macerators are full, it'll loop back around down this stone pipe, and you can see that the cobblestone and stone pipe don't interact, and then it'll go back into this loop. So I'll just loop around until it's all fed into macerators. So here we go, this one, it's going to go past. There we go, there's one into a little bit of lag at the moment. So yeah, this is now macerating the the copper. It'll go into, that'll basically, this, rather than just smelting the ore, macerating it actually doubles your yield from ore. So ore will turn into 2 dusts, and then 2 dusts will turn into 2 ingots. And hence we've got, you know, lots of ingots here in this crystal chest. And yeah, the I'm using, you can see how bulky this is with redstone engines. I could just use those autarkic gates and it would work just as well. It would be slightly slower, but it doesn't matter because none of these macerators are overclocked. So, and none of these furnaces are overclocked, so they just use this slow. You just leave it and forget it, and then it feeds to this crystal chest. And it's just running off a off an MFE, which is underneath the ground there. So enough of that rambling, and I'm totally lost as to what I was doing. I was going to let's grab a few stacks of glowstone. So we're going to go and give the helium processor a quick run through and see if it's actually functioning. So we put our glowstone in there. Why isn't that showing up? These barrels. Huh. Hang on, I'm just going to break this. That's interesting. Why didn't that show up? Should be a little image on the front there. Oh, there we go. So we've got our we've got our glowstone going through. As you can see, it's coming up here. It's as I said, it's still a little bit laggy. We're just going to make a whole bunch of these auto crafting tables a little bit slow, but they're good because you can put items in them and then walk away. So we'll just pop all of those in there. They should start to come out of the bottom. It's a bit hard to tell what's going on because of the fact that so there we go. Oops. I'm throwing away my Destructo pack. You can see the glowstone dust has made its way to the middle of the centrifuge. Now we have some empty cells coming out, and they're making their way into, well, at least one of the compartments here. So I might leave that for a little bit, and we'll come back a bit later and we'll have a look at that again. I'm going to talk about a few little tricks. This is something I recently discovered. This is called scaffold. Very, very cool stuff. It acts like a ladder. So it's easier to use than dirt because you can actually climb it without putting a ladder on it. I think I've got some in here somewhere. Maybe not. The best thing about it is if you break the bottom one, all of the ones up the top and the side connected scaffold comes down, so it's easier to use again than dirt. And the beauty of it is, if you place one and then you left click on the bottom one, it actually stacks one on top of it, so you can take it up to the top and then you can climb and you can place these down like so. Oh, there's the last one down there. So I just put this scaffolding up more of a sort of a look, more for sort of a look rather than just being practical. But again, it is going to be sort of practical. As you can see, I've started to build up the shape of the nuclear reactors, and we can come over here. We can see lots of fancy stuff. I'm going to have a look at this lighting though. This is my hidden powered lighting. What I do is I use a piece of cobble transport pipe, and then I use a gate, and I tell it if the pipe is empty, emit redstone. So these pipes are always going to be empty because they're just individual pipes on their own. So, and that's how I power the redstone lamps. And then you get this neat feature over here. And what these are facades. You can probably, if you look at the very edge, you can probably kind of make out a little bit of a flicker. If you move, can you see that little flicker? That's because these are made up of 4 sides, like this. As you can see, they're like a flat wedge of a block with a bit of a weird pipe connected to them. So these are the facades. We have them here, and facades are made in an assembly table using you use transport pipe, cobblestone transport pipe, and then you add gravel. So you put transport pipe and gravel in the crafting grid, and it makes structure pipe. And then you place 3 structure pipe in 1 block of your choice. In this case, it was 2 half slabs stacked on top of one another in a crafting bench. And it creates these facades which you can hide pipes behind. And I use them with this little wiring trick to give me a hidden redstone source. As you can see, it's pretty much invisible. This is a nuclear reactor leak detector that Slipgator left for me. If this flower is dead, you are dead. Very, very good. Just in case you were unaware. So you can see it a lot better here once we place these facades in place. Or facade, whatever you want to call it. It's pronounced facade, I believe. You can see that it's quite well hidden. I also use this principle to affect here on this, to power this information display. So pardon me, I'm just not sure what's my throat's being very nasty. At the moment there's nothing in the information display panel, industrial information display panel. You've seen a couple of these around the base. There's 2 in the central hub area that monitor. One monitors the matter fabricator, and one monitors the main AESU, or adjustable energy storage unit, which is in the top there. This one is going to monitor the reactor that is going to be in here. And you can see I've laid down a little bit of foundations in here. I've put in the 3 layers of reinforced glass in the bottom. I've started to build up the walls. Sorry about that, clearing my throat constantly. And I've put this pipe in, and you'll notice that there's like lines running down the edge of these pipes. And what those lines do is they connect, well, firstly, this blue one connects to this gold, or, oops, I didn't want to do that. Dang it. I'm going to have to break it. So I'll just replace that. We need blue wire, and we need our gold AND gate. And we've got conditions already set up in here. What these are saying is this is an AND gate, so all of these conditions have to be met for it to emit redstone. So it needs a red pipe signal on, blue pipe signal off, green pipe signal on, in order to produce, for this gate to produce redstone. And this is a diamond gate, which is why it has 8 separate conditions. So what I need to do here is when redstone is high, blue pipe is high, and this is going to be like a temperature override control for when I install the reactor. The other 2 pipes, the red and the blue, the red and the green, they come to these levers here. Basically, this is kind of like a dead man, well, not a dead man, but like a safety precaution. If I just turn on one, you'll notice that, I'm just going to jump these doors, oops. You'll notice that the green pipe wire is high, but this is not producing redstone yet. So there's only well, it's only showing 1 condition met, but it should show 2. This one should be lit up as well, but it's kind of, the interface is a little bit buggy. Now if I flick the other lever, this is, because these gates here are saying if you detect redstone, make green pipe signal high, and same with this one, if you detect redstone signal, make red pipe signal high. And now we can see that this gate, because all conditions have been met, red pipe high, blue pipe low, green pipe high, it's now emitting a redstone signal. And basically I'm going to place the reactor on top of this, and when both of these levers are activated, the reactor will turn on. So I've got like a double switch here, just to make sure, you know, in case I accidentally, like if I've stripped out the components and, you know, I've got a ton of quad uranium in it, I don't accidentally flick that switch and the whole thing goes up. It needs to have both switches switched on. So it's a bit of a safety net. Along with this here, if we have a look in our not enough items and we look up therm, we have these thermal monitors. They're made with reinforced glass, advanced circuit and a redstone chip, and what these do is you attach them to the reactor and they will emit a redstone signal when the reactor hits a particular temperature. So one is going to be right above this, and it will emit a redstone signal if the reactor goes above a certain temperature. And when it does, that blue pipe signal will go high, and this condition will no longer be met, and it'll turn off redstone. So the reactor can never go above that particular temperature. The threshold I'm going to set is probably going to be 61,000 degrees, because this is going to be a very, very, very hot reactor. This is what we call a breeder reactor, and it's the one I talked about yesterday that we use to generate multiple isotopes, uranium cells from a single uranium ingot. It's just designed to conserve usage. So I'm going to put in the glass here and finalize that, and we might actually install the reactor. It won't really make any difference being installed, but you're going to see what they look like and the interface. This is quite a long video. I think what I might do is I'm lagging hard. I might get our reactor and our reactor chambers. We'll go and have a quick look at the helium processor. Yeah, we've got a couple of you need a minimum of 16, so we've got a couple of, and these guys are producing, and for some reason they're not pumping. Oh, here we go, it's starting to pump out the product now. Oh no, stupid facades. Anyway, I'll fix that up later. I need to put autarkic gates on these ones here, but it won't matter because these buffers will only feed the centrifuges when they have space in them. They do that automatically. So we have any results yet? No, it doesn't look like it, but we got our first results. So I'm going to quickly jump over here. I love the jump boost, and we're going to we need to build up. For now, I'll just use this block here. Actually. We need another block. There's ample place to use scaffolding, but I haven't got any spare scaffolding, I don't think. No. That'll do, stone. Oop. Okay, so if I plop that on top of there, now this is the tricky bit because you can't place these reactor chambers without placing the reactor first. So we have our reactor down, and then we are going to place our 6 chambers. Like so, and then we'll get rid of this little tower here. this tool I'm using is called the Vajra, and it basically melts. Ooh, ice cream truck. It basically melts. Oh crap. Blocks. It's like super mining. It's also a weapon, so it does like loads of damage to mobs. So that broke that in one hit. If you look how long it takes for a pick to break it, you can see that reinforced stone is like obsidian basically. That's an efficiency 3 pick. So you can see how strong it is. So anyway, so that's what the reactor looks like essentially, and inside it you place a whole bunch of different components. For some reason it shows up NEI sorting, but you don't really want to do that. So we're going to fill this up with components before we fire it up. Yeah, so that's, and to monitor it, we use a GregTech. No, we don't. We use a remote. Remote sensor kit, as you can see here, and I need to make a couple of these. Frequency transmitter, digital thermometer, and a piece of paper. Frequency transmitter is just an electronic circuit and a copper wire. Digital thermometer is electronic circuit, 3 refined iron and glowstone dust, and a piece of paper, and that makes this remote sensor kit, which we can then use on the reactor and place into this card slot here. And we'll need a couple of range extenders for that too. So we're just going to go do one last thing and go over and check the progress on our machine over here. We got, oh, we would have had an issue because this pipe here is not configured properly. Neither is this one, neither is this one, neither is this one, and neither is this one. For some reason, I don't know why that's the case. None of those pipes were configured properly. There we go. I wonder it was taking so long for it to come out. So we've got 3 of them active, and the last one needs 1 more. And so here we come with some redstone. That should go to the back, I believe. Yep. So to pump it out in order, it'll do redstone, gold dust, then helium. I must have faced this the wrong way again. I wanted to make it so that I could see what was in it. So I'm just going to break this barrel and place it again. And we'll put this redstone in it. There we go. And we should be seeing, once this last redstone comes out, we should see some gold dust, which will go into this one. Here it comes. So this is working. I'm quite happy with the way this is working. I still need to place the gates on the rest of these to get it to be finished, but this should be up and producing. This should be up and producing quite a bit of helium. And then next we need to build the coolant cell manufactory, which is a little more difficult, but we will get to that in another episode. So for today, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Again, not a great deal happened, but it's a slow road and there's a lot of work involved. So hopefully you can keep up with me and maybe even learn some stuff and build a nuclear reactor yourself. So for today, I'm going to call it an episode. Thank you for watching, guys, and keep on digging.